Hawkeye and Black Widow have had some amazing adventures, but one nagging question remains. Just what exactly happened in Budapest? They're the super spy contingent of the Avengers. Their superpowers are being super good at what they do, even if it's bows and arrows and widow gauntlets. They're more up to the challenge of taking on space aliens, Norse gods, or killer robots. No matter how exciting all of that is, it pales in comparison to Budapest. If only because we just don't know, but we will when Black Widow finally hits theaters. Most lines come and go in a movie, and some are memorable because they're funny or cool, and some seem like throwaways but a hint at a bigger world. One line to Luke Skywalker about his father serving in the Clone Wars is just a bit to tell Luke who his father was, but it immediately instilled a curiosity in us all. Just what were the Clone Wars? It was enough of a mystery to fill 2 movies and a series. Joss Whedon is no stranger to little bits of flavor in his dialogue, and one little taste of flavor has left fans guessing since the Jatari came downtown to New York. It's when Black Widow turns to Hawkeye and says, just like Budapest all over again. Naturally, Hawkeye doesn't remember it the same way, so what exactly happened in Budapest? Did they take a tour of St. Stephen's Basilica? Get besieged by a faceless horde? Get besieged by a faceless horde while taking a tour of St. Stephen's Basilica? Well, for those who have been wondering, Scarlett Johansson is here for you. In an interview about the rain-delayed movie, ScarJo has said that we needed to find out just what it is that happened in Budapest. Immediately following that revelation, Johansson's co-star Jeremy Renner teased her on Instagram that loose lips sink ships. But we already know something happened in Budapest. It's not like she revealed that Taskmaster is a clone of Captain America or anything. Oh, really? No, I totally made that up. There's no reason to believe that, internet. But if that does turn out to be true, that would blow some minds, wouldn't it? Budapest is ultimately just a small part of an implied history for Natasha Romanoff. And honestly, most of it is bad. Most of the Avengers get some pretty adventurous origin stories. They're either patriotic young men during World War II with an outsized sense of responsibility for people, super scientists who either invent something or experiment with something that gives them superpowers, or just literally born the God of Thunder. To be a super spy that can hang out with those big guns, you gotta be something special. As is often the case, that something special is also especially dark. It's not just Budapest that Black Widow has hinted to in her past. There's a lot of things with names like Dreykov's daughter, or Sao Paulo, or the hospital fire. Okay, by itself, Sao Paulo doesn't sound so bad, but in context, it's still that famous red in her ledger. That's all the bad deeds that she's done that she has to undo by doing good deeds as an Avenger. Even Alexander Pierce gets in on the game, trying to prevent Natasha from revealing S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra's secrets because it would reveal her secrets too. But Natasha channeled her inner honey badger and released them anyway. So what do we know about the various things in Natasha's story? There are broad stroke stuff, like she was trained as an assassin in the dreaded Red Room, where she learned important assassin skills like basic ballet. I never did trust ballet dancers. Their toes are freaky. We know that she graduated the top of her murder ballerina class, which comes with the worst graduation gift possible that means she can't have children. But then she becomes a KGB super spy until she catches the attention of S.H.I.E.L.D., who sends super spy Clint Barton to kill her. But he recruits her instead, because that's the kind of guy he is. At that point, she starts to clear the red in her ledger, which she apparently has a lot of. It's just dripping with it, apparently. So let's go back to that moment with Loki, where a hypnotized Clint Barton spills the beans on his partner. Once again, that's Dreykov's daughter, Sao Paulo, and the hospital fire. I didn't do great in geography, but I think we can throw out Sao Paulo, unless Budapest was a really wild bender that ended in Sao Paulo, which means it would make sense that they remember it differently. The hospital fire she most certainly caused, which sounds particularly savage. That's some Joker-level villainy right there. But it's Dreykov's daughter that really stands out. That's because in a tie-in comic, the name gets dropped again. General Dreykov is the one that first notices Natasha's natural talent for jumping on people's shoulders and breaking a lot of things. We have other hints of her pre-Avengers time, like when the Winter Soldier shot through her to get to the person he was trying to kill, but it's General Dreykov and his daughter that are the most intriguing. Loki cites that first in his list of things that are red in her ledger. That means that she had done something unpleasant to someone close to the closest thing she had to her mentor. Seeing how this is during the KGB times, and that government wasn't the most trusting, even of its own citizens, it's likely that she was asked to take care of someone who was about to defect. A person too important to let that happen. So what do we think happened in Budapest? The Black Widow strikes by killing someone close to her, perhaps even someone she considered a friend, and that's what cracks her programming. It's this moment of crisis, this internal conflict that Clint finds in her. In that moment, he gives her the choice. She can fight for her life to continue to do these horrible things, or she can join Clint and defect the shield. But the Red Room has contingency plans. Plans that include people from the Red Room that her and her new partner have to fight off. Something she thinks looks like aliens invading New York, but in Budapest.